What is up, friends? Welcome back to the channel. Today is a super special day because I have the GoPro Hero 8 Black waiting for me on the porch. Coming up on a pretty cool rock garden. Go around this way. And through. Very technical. So we are out here on the trail and I have the GoPro set up on my helmet the best way that I could set it up, in my opinion, to give you a more immersive way. I'm gonna do a test for you. So I'm gonna take the GoPro Hero Black out of the box and bring it to the mountain bike trails, but I'm not gonna be changing any of the settings. I'm gonna use it straight out of the box and show you exactly what it looks like with no tampering, anything like that. Pretty much for anyone who is out there who just purchased their first action camera and chose this camera, or anybody who's interested in that and wants to see how it performs without having to mess with too many settings and too many little technical specs of a camera. I'm gonna test it for you and let you know how it looks in this video. So let's go get started. I'm gonna pick up the camera and then I'll do a short unboxing before we get to the trail. Here it is. I got the box and I'm gonna do a short unboxing. It's not gonna be anything special or technical because this isn't really a tech review channel. It started like that, but that's a whole different story. But anyways, let's open this puppy up and see what it looks like firsthand. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this little doodad to open it up. Seems weird since there's no frame on it anymore, but I kind of like it. And it feels pretty premium, so can't deny the fact that GoPro doesn't know what they are doing here. I'll get back to you with it. But this is the camera. Let's go hit the trails and see how it performs right out of the box. So we are out here on the trail and I have the GoPro set up on my helmet the best way that I could set it up, in my opinion, to give you a more immersive way. I typically wouldn't mount this camera on a helmet like this because it doesn't give you the best perspective of the trail. So I put it on a place on the helmet that gives kind of a little bit of the bars and bike and also the trail. Whenever you ride with a camera on top of your helmet or near the visor, it's typically going to point outward more towards the trail instead of down and give you that POV look. You want to have a chest mount to do that, which I do have, but I will be testing this camera today. My other setup will be on a full face helmet with a chin mount, so that'll be the next test after I do some more tests with this camera right out of the box. I'm shooting at 1080 60 frames per second at wide angle mode, so this is what it looks like straight out of the box. Let me know what you think down below. The settings right out of the box are going to give you 1080p at 60 frames per second in a wide angle mode. The sharpness is going to be set to high, and that's going to give you a very contrasty image like this. Also, the saturation is going to be high due to that GoPro color that is set as default when you open up the box. Aside from just the settings on your camera, you're going to have to choose where you want to mount the camera. And if you bought the GoPro just by itself, all you'll have to choose from is a sticky adhesive that you'll have to put on your helmet. This is going to limit you to a very high angle of capture and no bike in the frame, or you're gonna have to point the camera very far down like this and get only your bars without any of the trail up in front of the camera. It's just not going to offer the best angle if you're trying to record videos like Brian Kennedy, or if you're trying to make videos like Single Track Sampler. You're going to want that very immersive bar and forward trail view, which this isn't going to offer you if you're just using it on a helmet, so keep that in mind. How did that look? Also, I'm wearing Nike runners, so don't do that, but I gotta do what I gotta do. Let's go get the other helmet and try this thing out for real. Notice how much just the settings have changed the look of this camera. I'm now shooting in 4K at 24 frames per second with my sharpness set to low. This gives a lot more organic feel to the ride, and in my opinion is the best way to shoot with the GoPro if you're mountain biking. Now let's talk about the setup. I have this mounted to my chin on a full face helmet. That's why the video looks even more stable than anything else. But the crop and the angle is just so bad in my opinion. The reason behind this is because Hypersmooth 2.0 crops the image pretty drastically. From what I could tell, in every lens setting there is going to be a crop with that Hypersmooth 2.0. So this is Hypersmooth high setting on the GoPro Hero 8 Black. You don't get any of the super view or 4x3 options with the higher level Hypersmooth. So if you have a Hero 7 and you want that ultra wide angle regular Hypersmooth with the super view, then there's not really any reason to upgrade to this camera. You can only get those settings in the wide angle option currently. Who knows if they'll release an update for the firmware, but currently that's what we have to use. So the cropping is the reason why my bars look so tight on the image and I'm not getting too much of the trail ahead of the ride. And that's because I'm wearing a full face helmet with the GoPro hanging off the chin. That puts the camera pretty close to the bars in comparison to a chest mount, which I think is going to be the optimized choice for the GoPro Hero 8 Black if you're using it for mountain biking. Coming up on a pretty cool rock garden. Gonna take an alternate route. Go around this way. And through. Very technical, fun. Ooh, Shinner times 1,000. Ah, ow. If you want to know why you shouldn't wear Nike runners while riding your bike on the trail, this is exactly why. Right there. This thing came off so quick. This is the last section. Now I have the camera set to Hypersmooth Boost, and like I said before, the cropping is pretty drastic in the wide setting. To combat this, I had to change the angle of the camera to make it point out a little bit further so you could actually see the trail. But the negative of this is that you don't see as much of the bars in the video, which I do not like. I really like having the immersive bars and trail in the video, and that's again why I think the GoPro Chesty or the chest mount is going to be the best option here. I can't really imagine utilizing this camera on my helmet above my helmet and getting good footage of the trail, because like you saw in the previous videos, there was either a floating image of the trail or you're looking down at your bars, and with that crop of the Hypersmooth Boost, I don't really see a great option for gathering the image that you want, because it's going to be so tight either on the trail ahead or down on your bars. Okay, to wrap this up briefly before I do an in-depth review of this camera, I'm just going to say that I don't think this is optimized if you're using it for mountain biking to be used on top of your helmet or on your helmet at all. It just doesn't look good, and from all the footage I've seen from GoPro and all the riders that have been using it, it really looks like they're only using a chest mount, because with that Hypersmooth Boost, you get a lot of cropping, and the only other two options, either on a chin mount or on top of your trail helmet, they just don't look as good, and they're not going to offer the best results as far as mountain bike trail riding go. But those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you think down below. Let me know if you like this footage, what it looks like to you, how you feel about the GoPro Hero 8 Black, and if you're going to pick one up. I don't know if it's worth it. Let me know down below, and I'll see you later. Sick. So that was Graham Swamp, GoPro Hero 8, Hypersmooth 2, and Boost options. Just wanted to test it out and show you what it looked like, compare it to out of the box settings. And this video might actually turn into another video that I'm gonna have to discuss because, wow, out of the box that was pretty difficult to get working well. I don't know if anybody else experienced that, but for me, it wasn't so fun to update the firmware and figure out why I didn't have Hyper Boost 2 on the trail. So just be warned of that, and don't forget to go out, create your own adventure however you can, spread some positivity. See you on the next one. All right. Yeah, okay. Go for it.
It's going right in?
Yeah.
Running or walking?
Just walk in.